Mr. Speaker, thank you for a very interesting hour also, and thank you for stimulating us all to think perhaps a little deeper than we are normally given to thinking outside of our morning and evening prayers, which I think I abandoned a long time ago. We once in our family had a dog called Teddy, very successful, very happy little animal. Lived for about 20 years, and then he disappeared. My question is, where does God, you didn't mention God, not even the word once, or the concept, to negate the concept or to encourage it, not even once. Does the concept of God come into your philosophy, or did I miss something? You did not offer a minute or two, you might have crept in. What about the lines, 18th century lines, with respect to the music, which I found very difficult to take, not being accustomed to gospel music. The lines in the 18th century that declared, "Then there are those fools who to church repair, not for the religion, but for the music there." Where would you stand on that, Mr. Speaker? Addison, I think. Thank you.
Yes. Well, I just simply disagree with him about whether it's foolish to do that. The music is so wonderful. And I think we have demonstrated that you don't need the faith, you don't need the beliefs to cherish the music, and in fact to cherish the whole tradition. You said something interesting. You asked me whether the concept of God has any role in my philosophy. And then you also asked, what about God? Notice that those are two different questions. I don't believe in God at all. I believe the concept of God exists. It's a concept. The concept of the square root of 3 exists. The concept of hamburger exists. It's a concept. The concept of God is with us and will be with us for a long time. What fascinates me is for many people nowadays, not for all, certainly, not even for a majority, but for many people, in effect, they don't worship God, they worship the concept of God. It's rather like the Baker Street Irregulars. They know that Sherlock Holmes isn't real, but they think they're wonderful stories, and they become scholars, and they devote a large part of their lives to perpetuating and glorifying and studying the book of A. Conan Doyle. And they're not under any illusions about the reality of Sherlock Holmes. They think Sherlock Holmes is a brilliant, brilliant fiction. And I think, in fact, that attitude is much more widespread in the world's churches than a lot of people realize. And, in fact, one of the success stories in the United States, the megachurches, these giant, gleaming cathedrals that have been built in recent years with parking lots that will hold 5,000 cars, that may be a slight exaggeration, but they have congregations that are numbered in the thousands. And if you look at them closely to see why they work, you discover there's no creed. Precious little in the way of creed. As long as you are, as they say, one with Jesus, you're fine. And what does one with Jesus mean? Whatever you want it to mean. Whatever you want it to mean. That's one design solution to the problem facing religions. You may abhor it. It's interesting to know that fundamentalists in America despise it and watch in dismay as many of their parishioners abandon the fundamentalist churches to go to the megachurches. They also abandon the ultra-liberal churches. They abandon the Episcopals and the Congregationalists and the Unitarians and end up at the megachurches too. The megachurches are an interesting, explicitly religious but low doctrine, most of them, not all of them, alternative to put on the same level with TED and say one of them is explicitly secular, one of them is explicitly religious. They're both apparently successful models. As you'll see, I am treating these issues like an engineer. I'm asking what works and why. Because I think it's high time we take this otherwise off-limits topic and subject it to the salutary strain of being considered in these ruthlessly objective terms. Only thus will we be able to preserve what we love with any confidence. Otherwise, we may end up taking steps which we think will preserve what we love and end up inadvertently, unwittingly destroying it.